Oh my gosh. Why did it hurt me?
Okay, that was sick.
Why did it hurt me?
Damn, he's good.
Whew. Another year is done, and man, 2023, it was a pretty good year well, for me playing games for the most part. Um, I managed to enjoy a lot of new games, and once again keep strong at things that I already like Metroidvania, the RPGs. The one thing is, I guess, is that this year I didn't feel much like playing visual novels for some reason. I can't exactly say why. I was gonna play some visual novels. I was gonna play Mahoyo this year, but I don't know. Something I don't know. I guess I just wasn't in the right mindset to play a visual novel this year because I was just mashing buttons a lot. Cause well, you'll see what games I was mashing buttons in later on. In any case, it was a pretty good year. One of those parts was, and I played so many games that now I actually have a big list of honorable mentions. So let's get just started with it. My first honorable mention, I like to mention Titanfall 2. Man, this game is pretty fun, especially now that we can play on official servers with other people that are probably new to the game, just as I was. And that's the thing, right? You don't have to mod the game because if and I love the North Star and the other on the modded servers, but man, the people that played those mods, there were people who played the game, man. They really did. I was getting my ass clapped. But honestly, and that's why it was so fun to finally be able to play on official servers again. And it's a super fun game, man. If you can get your friends, then try it out. And it's usually you can find it on sale pretty cheap nowadays, or even on Game Pass if you have it. Number 2, Pokemon Scarlet. I mean, after Sword and Shield, they can only go up from that. To be honest, I mean, I do like how Legends Arceus took more risks with the formula, even if not everyone was a fan of it. And I think they should have kept more things from Legends Arceus, but apparently both of the games were being developed at around the same fucking time because, haha. I mean, I don't know who to blame at this point anymore. Game Freak, I don't know who to blame. Anyways, hopefully for like Gen 10, they grab things from Legends Arceus and they can make a super good game. Because I mean, Scarlet is it's okay. No, it's probably the game that had the most fun with since the DS games. I mean, nowhere near as close as Gen 5, Gen 4. Like nowhere near that. But I mean, I had more fun that with X and the Sun and when Gen 6 and 7 and 8. There's some things that they can probably learn from this. If they actually have the fucking time to do it, but it's Game Freak slash Nintendo slash Pokemon Company, I don't even know. So yeah. Anyways, I have my fun with it. Number 3, Need for Speed Hot Pursuit. I just felt like playing a racing game again, and Need for Speed is always the series for me to like come back, just do some races, have fun with it. I really like the idea of the cops and robbers theme, and it makes some really fun races with some different objectives, and especially in the multiplayer, I didn't play it that much, but it was super fun just fucking crashing, playing essentially like team deathmatch with the police and the robberies, and you just fucking go out of it, try to crash each other, eating from and stomp each other. That shit is super fun. Assassin's Creed 2 Discovery. I remember loving this game as a kid, and I actually still had fun with it. I see this as a sort of like a stepping stone to what Assassin's Creed Chronicles China will end up doing, which was also a pretty fun spin-off from Assassin's Creed. It has pretty fun movement for what the console can do, and it's a pretty simple game that you can beat in like 3 to 5 hours, and honestly, it doesn't overstay its welcome. Like, it's the type of game that I can literally just beat on like a commute and just have fun with it.
No, this is good. This is fun. This is. I can't turn the camera. Oh no, I can't turn the camera.
I can't stand this nigga. Hop out of the vehicle.
I wasn't in the vehicle.
Hop out of that vehicle, bro. Hop
Oh,
off
you're
of it.
asking me. Is that a grenade?
Thank you.
Ghost Recon Wallace. It's a Ubisoft open world games. Main difference is being able to play with friends and shoot shooty. Try out different missions, try out different loadouts. Uh, and there's actually some different ways that you can approach missions sometimes. Not always, but it actually makes it pretty fun. Especially like the first, I want to say like the first couple of weeks, you'll really have fun with this game if you're playing with friends while trying to finish the story objectives. Fucking driving around, shooting, and failing at stealth missions. It's pretty fun. Eventually, you'll realize it's a Ubisoft game and you're doing the same thing over and over again. But during, like I said, you play it mindlessly fun with friends for like forgot, I don't know, maybe like less than a month or something, just like a week. Then you still have a great time because this game usually goes on sale too, pretty much all the time. And I think there's Ubisoft games in Game Pass too, so yeah, just pick it up, have fun with friends driving around. Oh, I do gotta say, I do like that the setting is in like Bolivia. It's pretty different from what the usual open world game. Yeah, keep it with friends, you'll have fun with it.
The American
Nigga,
drug
can you
czar, which, by the way,
move
ain't
to
you
the
gotta be
side?
a 7-year-old white dude who never believes in your
Nigga,
life and call yourself
yeah,
a
I
drug
just told
czar.
y'all niggas that I was.
Anyway.
Now I'm not moving, nigga.
I got it. Fuck you.
What you mean, fuck me, nigga? Now you gotta drive, nigga. Is that a grenade? Oh, fuck! I hate you, Sebastian.
Bro, I'm so far.
Bro, I'm still in the car. I hate you.
Wait, can I? Oh.
We're all dead.
I hate him, bro.
I do too.
And now, time to get into the top 15. Obviously, this is a spoiler warning because I will talk about spoilers of these games, so watch out. Now, let's get started.
You could say, bro, like, I mean, yo, fire! No, it's like, what are you saying, bro? Like, yo, this is peak.
¡No! ¿Pero qué ven mis oídos, mano? ¡No lo puedo creer!
Oh man, what to say about this game? I am so conflicted talking about Hysteria. It's a game with some really nice highs, but the lows, man, the lows are kind of rough. Alright, let's start with the positives, right? I really love the backstory of Hysteria. Um, in this world of Hysteria, the Seraphs and the humans used to live together until basically malevolence took over. The humans cannot see Seraphins anymore, and because of the big amount of malevolence, they're turning into Hellions. When the world is full of malevolence, the legend says that the Shepherd will come in to save the world. And guess what? This is where our boy Soray comes in. Raised in a village of Seraphims, so he has always been basically very pure and very in tune with the spirit. So, I mean, let's just say how it is, right? He's the good boy. He's the good boy protagonist, right? He's always trying his best. He's always been optimistic, and he genuinely believes that humans and seraphims will be able to coexist once more. And listen, as simple as it sounds. I think it is a nice story because it constantly tests Soray's belief in humanity pretty much. Uh, Everywhere he runs, well, not always, but I want to say like 80% of the time, he's basically seeing the worst aspects of humanity, being corrupted, being all about war, not trying to listen to the other people. Like basically, yeah, he's just fucking seeing everything that the worst of humanity has to offer. But even so, he still believes in there, you know. And and for some people that may sound like just the generic type of generic, but I don't know. I mean, I kind of like it. I mean, of course, I wish I do wish there were some parts of the story where Soray was a bit more cynical, I guess. But I mean, hey, it is what it is. That's the kind of protagonist that Soray is, and I think he's cool. The fun part about it is to learn about all of the lore that happened before this, about the multiple shepherds that kind of failed in their mission and how Soray has to live up to that. The whole aspect of why seraphims and humans stop basically living with each other. There's just a lot of nice lore, to be honest. Like when it came to like how the world of hysteria has been existing, and especially I guess. I mean, as someone who kind of like studied religion and shit like that back in school, it was interesting to me. Yeah. I mean, of course, I understand if it's not for everyone, though. But to me, in particular, it was pretty interesting. So, I do give a huge props to the lore of Cesteria. I really enjoyed it. I already talked about Soray, but speaking about his friends, I really love Alicia. Alicia is really cool. She is the type of character that I really like to see in a story because it's a character that is just like Soray. She's surrounded by very bad people, but even so, she still tries her best. She is a knight who is also a princess, but unlike Soray, who only sees the evil once he leaves his hometown. Alyssa has been seeing that for like her whole life, pretty much so, and even so, she still wants to help in any way she can, and I really like her, man. She definitely. I think she got a bit robbed of the story. She kind of has like the Flint treatment in Vesperia in that she joins for a couple of times during the story, but she doesn't stay. Like I don't know why they did that. Oh, you know what? I should be leaving. I should be complaining about this stuff later. But fuck it, man. They did my girl dirty, bro. She's fantastic. And also, I really like her moveset. We need more spear characters in Tales, bro. Come on.
アリーシャ、さ、ごめん、着替え中だと思わなくて。
いいよ。鎧の手入れをしていただけだから。
けど、無神経だったね、女性の部屋に。
では、正式にお招きしよう。どうぞ、スレイ。
It should have been me, not him! It's not fair!
Another one of my favorites was Dessel. There's just something that I really like about the fucking edgy loner boy who tries to play it cool, who tries to not associate with others, but in the end, he's just a big softy, man. He's just a big softy. And listen, I fucking love those type of characters. That's just my goal. And that attitude, and honestly, the design too. Fucking the black jacket, nah, wearing the black and the green, nah, shit. That shit is cool. And the rest of the cast, well, I think they were also pretty nice. I'd say they range from pretty nice to okay. I didn't really hate anyone in Cestia, which is pretty good. Usually in Tales there's maybe like one character that I don't really care about, but I really enjoy the rest of the cast of Cestia. Miglio is the how do I say this? Miglio is the totally straight friend of Soray. They're childhood friends. They've been homies for life. They just know each other better than most, to the point that some they can understand each other without saying it out loud. And that part I do think they actually nailed it really nicely. You can tell that these two friends have been friends for forever, you know. That thing, they they really nailed that aspect.
わかった。サンキュー、ミクリよ。
You're gay!
Pretty well, and that's what I like about Emilio. He's the voice of he's a little bit of the voice of reason to Saray. Speaking about the other side, we have Edna. Edna is a troll. She definitely does not, compared to the rest of the characters, she does not care a lot about humanity. And honestly, it makes sense because she's just a little jaded, but because of that, she's a big troll too. And that she really has some very fun interactions with the party.
エドナー様、申し訳ありませんでした。
そうよ。反省なさい。それに自己紹介し合っただけなのに、もう名前で呼んでくるなんて随分慣れ慣れしいのね。
申し訳ありません。
お詫びにノルミンダンスを踊りなさい。わからないの？反省なさい。
申し訳ありません。
お詫びにノルミンダンスを。
無理やり元に戻さないでくれ。
エドナ、危険ですわ。
消えろ。消えろ。
Then we have Sabid, the boy, the lad who's just what's the word? He's like the cool uncle, I guess. I think that's the best way to say it. He's the cool uncle to the party. He's lived longer than the others. He's seen some shit, but at the same time he plays it cool. He doesn't like to show off how he really feels sometimes, unless it's something really serious.
ごまかさないで。言ったでしょ。お兄ちゃんと決着をつけるって。
そのままの意味さ。アイゼンとはちょいと因縁があってね。
それがどんな因縁か聞いてるの。
妹さんを僕にくださいって言ったら殴られた。
嘘ね。
けど絶対やるだろあいつ。
分かった。話す気はないのね。
あいつが心配するわけだ。
本当はどうなんですの？
何か頼まれたんじゃないの？エドナのお兄さんに。
さてどうだったかな。
もしかして制約なのですか？
いやいや、そんな大したもんじゃないって。けど口にしないもんだろ、男の約束。
So it's very nice to just see him like be there. I guess like the comedy relief a bit for a bit of the group, but also getting being serious when he gotta be. So Zabit's cool. Also, his theme is a banger, by the way, banger theme. Then we have Rose. Rose is pretty cool, but the idea is kind of weird because she's an assassin, but she doesn't get affected by malevolence somehow because
共にいなければならない何かが。それにしても暗殺者と共にいて氷魔になってないなんて。あの暗殺者が汚れを生んでないんだ。まさか。
純粋で清らかな心を持つ人は汚れを生まない。あの暗殺者はスレイさんと同じなのですね。
暗殺者が純粋で清らかだ。そんなことってあるのか。
見た通り。
I don't want to talk about it. I just think it's kind of dumb. But anyways, aside from that part, Rose is cool. I think she's definitely a nice addition to the party because she is a good person, but she's not afraid to do the dirty deeds when she has to. In that way, she kind of reminds me of Yuri from Vesperia. She's very headstrong, and she isn't as quick to be nice to people as Sorey is. So I think in that regard, she plays a really nice foil to Sorey in that regard. And that's why I'm sad that Alicia wasn't there, because I think it would have been nice to have someone who wants to believe in humanity just as much as Sorey does, and someone who is a little more cynical. I think it would have been really nice to see them both play out when the big decisions in the story happens, but you know. And now Lyda, she's probably my least favorite, but it's not like her fault. It's because of the writers, because she's the type of character that already knows everything that is. You know how there's always a character who clearly knows what is going on, like knows the backstory, knows the lore, but she can't say it because uh, the writers be like, the protagonist gotta find the information for himself and make his own decisions. So basically, Lala is just there to explain things when the timing is right, I guess as you could say. And it's a bit annoying, man. It's a bit annoying. I always really dislike those that when they use a character like that because a lot of things would just be so much more simpler if they could just talk about talk and be clear. I mean, it's not just that, I mean, that is annoying, but the way she plays it out is like that she plays it out like she's been being bad at lying, like tee hee haha, like yeah, it's funny like the first 2 times, but then it gets really old. But yeah, I mean, those scenes, whew, I mean, yeah, like I said, those scenes go really old. But aside from that, Lila is the mom of the group. She's there to basically look after everybody. And when she's doing that part, then I think she's a character that is nice and does her job well. I don't hate her. I just dislike that aspect of her because the writers thought it will be funny, I guess. I don't know. Anyways, back to the other good parts of this game. The OSTs, wow, fantastic. I like Sakuraba, but I always felt like after Vesperia, after Graces, I think the series needs more than one composer. TBH, we can't just have Sakuraba do the whole thing because, I mean, listen, Graces, Exilia, and Exilia 2, they have a couple of good tracks every now and then, but for the most part, they're always kinda just there. However, this is when you add Goshina to the mix. Goshina, but boy, Walken Tales of the Legend God Eater, soundtracks that I also love as well. And when the tracks that he worked on this game, really good as well. They stand out. You remember them, even if you may not end up liking as much as the dungeons or the places. Then you remember those tracks, man. They stand out, but at the same time, you also get those classic soundtracks from Sakuraba that do better when it comes to like the towns and the other type of story moments. And that's honestly one thing that I wish Namco and Tales team keep doing forward. Like Sakuraba will always be great, but sometimes it's nice to spice things up, Goshina was the man for that. He did this in Cesteria and Berseria, and I really love that. I wish he could just keep coming back whenever. And yeah, aside from that, another thing that I like is some of the movesets from these characters. They have weapons that you don't usually see in Tales of series. Like Dessel has this freaking not chain thing, this whip thingy that uses the wind. It looks really cool. Alicia using the spear is great. She, like I said before, Rose uses twin daggers, the cards. That aspect I think is really nice. Like they made all of the characters stand out with the different styles of weapons that they use. I think that's something that I want to see more in Tales. I want to see some freaking unique weapons, and that's one thing that Sierra nailed it because since they're spirits, according to the lore, they can just grab whatever thing, or whatever object they want to use, and just imbue it with their element, and they just do what they want. That's fun. Those are some really nice things about Systema that I like. Unfortunately, this is where we get to the bad parts. Let's start with the obvious one, the camera. Oh, the camera. Everyone complains about it. I'm not the first one. I will not be the last one. It's screwed up. I mean, it's not even. Man, it's fucked up. It's fucked up in combat because this was a new Tales of game on the PS4 on the new generation. They wanted to try doing like real zone combat. So basically, they wanted to make the battles take place in the place where you actually are, like in the world map, instead of like usually they teleport you into like a battle arena, you know, like the circle thing, like any other Tales of game that in before. But no, they wanted to do something new, and what I like the idea. I think it looks really immersive when you fight on the same place where you were just traveling. Unfortunately, this causes the camera to get fucky, especially in dungeons or when you're next to trees, because you're so close to the camera is so close to them that it just actually gets impossible to see what is going on. Like it's not even funny, bro. Like maybe it was funny like the first time, like haha, but when you actually start fighting more stronger opponents, it's super rough, man. It's bad, man. Oof, it's super rough. So, first we talk about the camera. Now we're gonna talk about the combat. The combat is basically a worse version of the Tales of Graces with the action points, with the CC points. I don't remember what they were called right now, but yeah, the CC point basically. You have your blue meter that you do for every action, and basically you have this press circle for quote unquote martial arts, and the other one for the traditional arts that you see in every game, like Demon Fang, spells, and things like that. So it's basically just the worst Graces because it's nowhere near as fast as Graces was, where you could like very easily transition from one style to the other and still keep the combo going. And that's a little bit rough. I mean, it's passable. It's not the worst Tales combat, but going to this after Exilia 2 and Vesperia and Graces, it was really rough, man. If you played those combat systems and then tried Hysteria, it was probably not good at all. Even worse, probably. Like I came into this game knowing that the combat system will be like this, but back in like 2015, I think when it released, if you went from like Zeta 2 or Vesperia to this, or Graces to this, no man, it would have been. I can't imagine. I don't really need to do that. All I gotta tell you is that yeah, the combat is just the worst Graces. It's okay, I guess. Well, speaking of another aspect of the combat, the armatization, aka when you combine Sorey or Rose with one of the spirits, and not Alicia because fuck her, I guess. I'm still salty, by the way. I'm still fucking salty. But yeah, it's actually not a pretty noble idea at first, but then you realize that some combats go from like very challenging to fucking easy, way too easy when you have it, because the extra HP, the ability to cast a lot of spells and more quickly and abuse the elemental extra damage that you have on some enemies with weaknesses is honestly a bit ridiculous sometimes. Like it's actually like yeah, nah, I don't think it was properly balanced at all. I mean, it's nice because it makes you feel super strong when you combine with a spirit and you both fucking. I mean, your character beats the shit out of the enemy, but even so, it's something that is cool at first, but loses that coolness factor after a bit. Oh, and by the way, I hope you only play if you wanna play co-op. I hope you only do with one other player, because if you have a third or fourth, then that means one of you doesn't fucking get to play while amortization is on, because haha. I don't think there's much else to say about the combat now. It's okay. It's not the worst, but it feels like it could have been a lot better with proper. I mean, I guess I think it's fine to say now. This is a game that should have been should have way more time in the oven, because there is a lot of potential here, man. There is so much things that could have gone better in this game, and it doesn't even need like a super big overhaul. There's just some things that they could do better, and they will be probably a really good Tales game. Like it's good, but it could have been easily been something even better. But yeah, another thing that is just personal preference, like every Tales game when it comes to the characters. Like I said, I do think like some of them were like kind of like forced into the party, because because Sorey needed to have a party of different elements, elemental seraphs. You know, like the first four guys, aka Sorey, Mikaleo, the childhood friend, Lila, the one who knows all about the Shepherd and the lore and things, and Alicia, who was basically Sorey's first contact with the outside world, with the outside world outside of his Seraphim village, basically. Those four have all of the motivations to go on a journey to try to defeat the malevolence and try to purify the people, right? Those four have all of the reasons to do it. However, when it comes to Destin and Rose, it kind of just feels like they were just tagging along because, yeah, it does feel like the characters, and it does feel like they're just there because they needed to have different elements. And I don't know, I just feel like they need a little bit more motivation to accompany Sorey on his journey, right? Like the first four are fucking great. They knew what they were into from the beginning, and that's where they went. And yeah, I think this is where I can go into fucking Alicia. Like, what the hell did they do to her, man? Like, she had all of the reasons in the world to try to help Sorey, and then halfway they're like, nah, she actually she needs to stay at the castle, bro. What? Why they do her like that? And to make it worse, like they make her so that okay. I do understand the lore of the lore aspect of her having low compatibility with servants, not being able to see them without Sorey's help and shit. But they could have her get better at it through the story, man. Instead of having to write her off like that. Like, oh man. Actually, yeah, I think that's just as far as I'm gonna go. I could go deeper into it, but there's been so many threads back in like 2015-ish when people complained about Alicia. I mean, I really just wanted to say that it fucking sucks what happened to her, man. But that's as far as I'm gonna go. But yeah, like I said, Tales of Systeria is a game that really has some nice things going for it, but also the lows fucking hurt it, man. The lows fucking hurt it. In any case, the story. Oh yeah, I do gonna mention one thing about it is that there's a part in the game where you have to like find like memories to see the flashbacks of the lore, and you know, seeing that once you find out the lore of what happened, that shit is pretty interesting. Having to backtrack for the world map to find them, not fun. Not fun, bro. That just it really different. Literally, when it happened, I just thought, oh, this is the fucking Triforce quest from Wind Waker again, bro. This shit is just panning the game out because they wanted to make it longer. I mean, it did. That part is not very fun. So yeah, I mean, I could, yeah. So, oh, and the fucking upgrade system to the armor and weapons system. Oh no, you know what? I'm gonna stop here, bro. This game, there's some really nice things that I like, but goddamn, the lows, they bring it them down, man. But that said, I don't regret playing this game. I had my fun with it. I think Sorey is a cool, different type of protag in the Tale series of just being the good fella. And Alicia and Dessel are some of my favorite characters in the entire series. Legitimately, I really love them. And I wish I could have seen. I wish there was like a Systeria definitive edition type of like how they did Vesperia. I mean, and just add Alicia as a playable character for longer, because I don't know. I just feel like, I mean, that's just one aspect, right? But Alicia being more playable and being able to tune and maybe like fix some of the stuff that could probably make this an even fantastic Tales of game. Because it is a good game, but back in 2015, with all of the hype for a new Tales game after Cydia 2 was basically like a reuse of assets with some better tricks to the combat. which I mean I loved it. But you know, people were wanting a new Tales adventure, and Systeria was what came out. Yeah, Systeria is stuck in a really bad position with being probably the most overhated Tales of game, with a lot of yeah, and it's not even. I don't think it's close to being the worst, but it's because of the time when it released and the hype that was there for it. It was unfortunate. It was just super unfortunate, man. This game deserves better. This game needs a definitive edition, man. I really hope it gets it someday. But for now, I have I fun with it, and I think I can always overlook the bad points. I don't regret playing it. I have my fun. So, and there it is for number 15. Quick and Easy Unravel 2 is a very beautiful game. Like, just looking at it, looking at all the backgrounds and where the game takes place, it's just absolutely breathtaking. It's just beautiful, man. It's beautiful and it's cute too. And that's the kind of energy that it gives, right? It's just such a cozy platformer game that you can also play co-op with a friend or maybe someone else. I don't know. using the two little fellas to move through the stages, do the platforming, and then having to cooperate to solve the puzzles is something that is just super creative, man. You have to pull each other's yarn and unravel. I'm sorry. No, hell no, I'm not sorry. And of course, some of the puzzles actually took a lot of effort to figure it out, and man, we felt like geniuses when we did. Even if, you know, maybe even if we probably could have solved it a lot faster. But yeah, man, like fucking some of the puzzles felt super amazing to do. Like I'll just pull some clips here. But yeah, like I said, this game, the presentation is so freaking beautiful, man. I love all of the different types of levels and the locales where they happened, and the OST is just super chill. It's super chill, but there's some moments in the game where it like amps up a little bit and it makes you feel like a freaking hero, man. Or it makes you feel sad if something bad is happening. The OST is just always in tune to what's happening in the stage, right? But for the most part, it's even with that, for the most part, it's super chill and it's very nice. And it's a game that is short and sweet, and it doesn't overstay its welcome, right? You can finish the main campaign in like 5 to 6 hours, which is very nice for a little platformer. And if you want to make it go longer, there's a lot of challenge levels if you want to, but they are way harder than the story levels. And I think in that sense that's cool, because you know, I just want to play this game to relax. I don't want to play this game to fucking stress myself out solving these freaking puzzles while the fire is chasing after me, and oh my fucking god. But yeah, I really like that there's a chill game for people who just want to play a platformer together with someone, and there's also a lot of fucking head scratching hard puzzles and platforming challenges if you want to. It's a super fun game and I really recommend it.
Darkness.
Man, stealth games have become so much more rare after the 2000s, which is a bit unfortunate. And I grew up a lot playing Splinter Cell with my friends because it had co-op, and playing a stealth game with co-op is fun. Like, okay, yeah, you're probably gonna lose a lot because someone fucks up, but that was like the fun part of it, right? There's always something going on, and I missed that feeling. So after Ubisoft closed the Splinter Cell Conviction servers, because just Ubisoft things, I was looking for a stealth game to play with my friend, and lo and behold, I found Aragami, and man, Aragami ended up being a really fun stealth game that is way different from the rest. It's not like Hitman or like Splinter Cell, where you like try to be stealthy and gun someone down, or maybe like or you know, try to find other ways to kill them, right? In this game, it's just you just play a ghost ninja samurai person who can just teleport from shadow to shadow as he defeats all your enemies or ignore them, depending on what kind of playstyle you want to go for. And the fun part is that you have the tools to do whatever you want. Well, maybe not at the start, but as you progress through the game, you get everything you need. Unlocking the shadow powers to find new ways to get kills, or be able to track the enemy's location and create distractions so that you can walk past them without distracting them. It's so freaking cool, and man, you can just choose what type of ninja you wanna be in this game. It's a game that constantly keeps you on the move, right? With the way the shadow mechanic works, right? Now, when you see a shadow, you can teleport to it. You just gotta watch out that your cape has enough, that your cape is dark enough, right? And that's another thing I like, is that you don't need like a super HUD to know what's going on. Everything is on your cape, like backwards, you know, like the Dead Space. You can see all of your you can see all of your meters and around your meters for what you need to do there, and actions basically. And yeah, I mean, that's just what makes it so fun, being able to shadow teleport around and try to like be sneaky, or maybe get a kill if if you think it's the right choice, that's just super fun. And the level design is built around that. You can figure out different paths to reach the goal, and of course, and man, you know, like just getting around that, it just feels nice, man. It really does. Now, of course, some things can be bad. Like for example, while playing in co-op, you can only respawn with checkpoints. So if you die immediately after a checkpoint, you're either gonna restart or the other one's gonna carry until the next checkpoint. That's gonna be it's gonna be a little bit annoying. Of course, there's some issues with the enemy AI being able to swing their zone so fast before you can do something that, oh man, if you get caught, it's really hard to do anything about it. I mean, I guess that's the point of the game, of course. You know, trying not to get found out or to getting the upper hand on them. But yeah, I mean, this is definitely the type of game where like, if you get found out, you're pretty much dead unless you can quickly escape, very quickly. And I guess that type of gameplay is not for everyone. Some people like to fight back. But yeah, man, this game is super fun concept. It's the idea of playing around with the shadows is something that seems so natural for a stealth game, and it makes it feel so unique and different. The story, well, I mean, the story is something that you can probably see coming from a mile away. If you played, you know, the quest is about finding who you are and you trying to get vengeance on your enemies. And yeah, Aragami 1 is a fantastic game that obviously was the start of a really nice concept, but unfortunately it didn't get followed that with Aragami 2 because that one went more of like an Assassin's Creed stealth type of direction, which, I mean, it's, I guess, I mean, I don't want to say, okay, I will say it, it's probably is worse for me because, you know, we don't, that type of game is, I think, something that we already had a lot, right? I think Aragami 1 was super unique, and I would have liked to see the mechanics of this game be even more fleshed out, because there's so much potential here, man. I already enjoyed the game, but there is even more potential here. There's so much things that could be created, but well, it is what it is. There is still a level creator, so there are still things that you can do even after you finish the campaign, which is super fun. You can just finish it in like around the same time as some Rebels, 5-6 hours probably if you don't take too long. It's a pretty fun game to play co-op for sure.
Anyway, I started blasting.
This is the game that started it all. And this game's ambience was actually pretty surprising. I mean, I always knew this game was originally supposed to be a Resident Evil game, but man, I really loved the mansion and the somewhat dark atmosphere of the game. Now, the camera does take a little bit to get it used to, but well, it doesn't take too long to play the RE games. So yeah, honestly, the ambience is so fucking fantastic in this game, and that's, I feel like, something that I really had to point out immediately. Man, it's just different. It's just gritty in like a good way, of course. But eventually, once you start to find your first enemies, you realize that it isn't an RE game, but it is its own thing. Just like how Onimusha was also like a project that was supposed to be a RE game and became its own thing. So did Devil May Cry, and it was really the beginning of something amazing. At first the comments are just, you know, your usual. Oh, Bako, what the hell are you doing?
I got big dog status, it ain't no secret.
At first, I mean, the comment is a bit basic, but it's also like super fun and it does its job well. Um, do the triple hit combo, the launcher into the guns, everything pretty much works as expected, and it works nicely. And of course, as you end up unlocking more weapons and the different moves, you can see that. Well, you can really tell that this was very much one a really pretty good action game. And honestly, it actually surprised me with the amount of things that you can end up unlocking. Being able to try different weapons was really nice, and I enjoyed the combat for the combat a lot, surprisingly. And another shout out is to the OST. Of course, Devil May Cry After 3 will end up being recognized for its the more vocal things. Devil May Cry 1 doesn't have one those, but they're pretty different. They are pretty unique in their own way too. They're like very early 2000s vibes. Like shoutouts to the battle theme and Psycho Siren. But of course, even behind all of this, even with all of this, Team C1 is just as cheesy as a Capcom game, as the Capcom games used to be during the time. But some with some really nice lines. I mean, we all know.
Now get out of my sight. The next time we meet, it won't be like this.
Dante!
Don't come any closer, you devil! You may look like my mother, but you're nowhere close to her. You have no soul. You have the face, but you'll never have her fire!
We know which one is the line of this game. I won't spoil it. I think you should actually play it for yourself if you can. It's just so cheesy. It's so fantastic, and that's part of its charm, man. DMC1 having that cheesiness is what will end up becoming like a blueprint for the rest of the series, and I mean it in the best way possible. Without DMC1, we would not have had any of the rest of the games, and that's why I think that's why I think Dante's first game is super solid foundation for everything what was to come. The only reason I think it's not higher is because in this game, if you die, you have to replay the whole mission. And some of these missions can be brutal, man. You gotta save your golden orbs for the right times, or you're gonna be in pain, bro. Jeez.
Okay, let's get it over with in 10 minutes. Can't let a single one of those suckers live.
5 minutes.
More than enough.
It was an okay punish.
See, him getting damage at a good range, that's good. He needs to play like that a little. Turn the game on. Oh. Turn the game on.
Man, my nigga got perfect.
You're not that guy. Never do that again.
Man, it feels good to see a fighting game just be so popular again. But I mean that is that Street Fighter 6 was the one fighting game that everyone in my Discord group had, bro. Without fail, we all got it. We all managed to get some games, and it just felt good, man. It felt like the Street Fighter 4 era, where like everyone was just trying a new fighting game again, and it just felt good, man. It's super fun fighting game, man. It's got a lot of depth at high level, but it's also easier to beginners to try out with the modern control schemes, and yeah, I don't think there's much to say here, but you know, obviously the Street Fighter 2 cast returns, the gang is back here, but they still got new stuff because of the mechanics of the game, which I will talk about later. Alongside them, we got Luke, Yuri, and some really cool newcomers like JP or Marisa. And man, they look pretty sick. I think they pretty much nailed the look of pretty much everyone in Street Fighter 6. I think they all look pretty good. And of course, they'll have different playstyles and they'll teach you different things. They'll teach you different ways to play the game. And it's super fun. I guess one thing that I could talk about now, the mechanics, is that I think that dividing supers and dividing the meter of supers and for other mechanics like the EX moves or the new drive system, I think that was a really great idea because it actually just lets you. One of the big problems of Street Fighter 5 or 4 is that you will not usually see a lot of supers because it was usually better to cancel, to use EX moves or to use FADC, use your meter to cancel and stuff. Now we don't have to worry about it because we can still see the mechanics of the game and people use supers, which I think is super fun. And giving them all of them cast, 3 supers, fantastic, man. I really miss that kind of shit. Speaking more of the mechanics, I do think offense is pretty nice. Canceling to drive rush to extended combos is super nice.
Take a look.
I do think Raw Drive Rush is a little strong right now, but I mean, I wanna say at the low to mid level, Raw Drive Rush is pretty strong, hard to get used to. But you know, I think the fact that the drive race can deplete, it kind of balances it out because it's a game about you try to take the momentum, but you also gotta know when to put on the brakes because otherwise you'll be in big trouble. And because of this, there is like a lot of there's always a lot of decision making going every time, right? I do low-key wish the combo potential was a bit more even around the cast because it does feels like for some reason they can still juggle after drive rush while others they kinda can't. So it's a bit uneven. It's kind of like Soul into your strap being able to do whatever he could while the rest of the cast couldn't. Well, not to that degree, but you know, it's still, you know, still kind of sucks that some characters get to combo everything after a drive rush while others not. I do think that should be a bit more even, but aside from that, not much problems with it. I think that is one of the biggest strengths, but also one of the biggest weaknesses because you have to have so much awareness of your meter and the opponent's meter at every time. So I think for some people that may just be too much to handle everything that goes on in these types of games, and you can't blame them, right? There is a lot to keep going on, but even so, that's probably for like once for like mid to high level at that point. But that said, I still think the game is super fun to play with friends and to get people into fighting games. It's a fantastic way to start. Oh, I've almost forgotten. I guess another fault of this game is this soundtracks. Soundtrack's not the best. I mean, I do like the character selecting and the main theme being super cheesy, because you know I love cheesy music with lyrics. But you know everything else, yeah, not the best. I hope they add a jukebox mod one day. But I mean, yeah, I mean, really not much to say about it. Street Fighter 6 is a fantastic game and a really great way to get into fighting games.
Está bien. Oh my god.
el río Main en mi interior. damn, that was pretty fun. Hopefully we'll get to see other boss fights now, right? After playing the Castlevania games, man, I really want to get into the 2D Metroid games now. What else is there to say? I've been having a lot of fun with the Castlevania games this last couple of years. I mean, the last and this year. Now that I actually started to play them, and you know what? I think it's time to jump into 2D Metroid. And I heard a lot of good things about, obviously, the Super Metroid, of course. That's a legendary status game. I Dread is amazing too. And from Zero Mission and Fusion, it's probably a little bit less, but they all say they are still good games. So obviously, when it comes to that, I wanna when I start a game, I usually wanna start that when I start a series, I usually like to start somewhere in the middle, usually. Well, for the most part. When I started Castlevania with Aria Sorrow, it was kind of an accident. It was just I just saw Soma Cruz and thought, damn, he looks sick. I was gonna start with that. That's basically how it happened. But yeah, usually when I start a new series, I wanna start with something I guess in the middle that people say it's good, it's just okay, but not amazing. And from that, I like going for like down to up. That's how I feel. At least when it came to Metroid. And especially because AM2R is a thing, people love AM2R. So, and I figured, you know what? Let me try Samus Returns, bro. I thought it would be nice, and when you go in with a bit lower expectations, you can end up being surprised, and that worked out for me nicely in this game because this game was pretty fun. I enjoyed it for what it was, knowing that it will reuse a lot of bosses with the Metroids and stuff. Even with that, I had a super fun time with it. Exploring the maps and the areas felt really nice. It's with the dual screen setup, so I can watch the map without pausing the game. And using the touchscreen to change their inventory and was pretty nice. It's got that cool DS vibe of using the touchscreen just for smaller tasks, like the same way you could use the touchpad for like the Zelda ports from like Wind Waker and Twilight Princess. Just use the touchpad to change weapons. I like that, man. I like that. It makes inventory a little bit faster. So hey, that's pretty nice. And yeah, I mean, the gameplay felt pretty nice to me. It was super fun, going from like just shooting a single beam to shooting a freaking triple, quadruple beam that freaking goes through walls and can kill everything real fast. The level design, I think it was nice. I mean, I can't really judge it because it's my first Metroid. I guess compared to Castlevania, it's a bit different, but I think I enjoyed it for the most part. My only issue, I guess, will be that the whole hidden blocks thing. Which, I mean, it's probably gonna be an issue when I try the other Metroids, but in this game it wasn't, because there's a whole ass mechanic, pulse mechanic that lets you identify them. So that's really nice. I really enjoy those type of I really enjoy little things like that to make things easier. I don't know how I'll do with the older Metroids. I'll probably have to look up for a guide, but hey. I mean, it is what it is, right? I really enjoyed this. I really enjoyed it in this game. I only had to look up for a guide maybe once or twice. I always felt like I could go back on my own and use the pulse on places where I hadn't seen everything yet and use it to reach the next area. So in that sense, I enjoyed the level design. For the most part, yeah. I guess another flaw would be that the movement could be a bit faster, mainly the ball. The ball could be a lot faster and maybe give you like a bomb AoE, so that it's easier to break the boxes, the little tiles that you have to break with the bomb. Oh, I guess that's also another thing. Having to use a different missiles or different weapons to break the boxes. I mean, obviously it makes sense because you get different powers, but at some point I wish that, I don't know, maybe like once you break it once, then you don't need to use that weapon anymore. Cause I don't know, feels like having to equip things to get to that. I mean, it's only like a couple seconds, but you know, I do feel like you could make that even better. But yeah, I mean. Oh, and obviously the reuse of bosses. I talked to that for like a second before, but yeah, that's obviously a big flaw. But you know, this game is a remake of a freaking Game Boy game. Like not even Game Boy Color, not even and much less Game Boy Advance. This is a Game Boy game, so you know, I just accept it for what it is. I went to this game with a pretty decent meet expectations, and I had a lot of fun with it. I can't wait to try the other Metroid games. So I think Samus Returns was a pretty nice step up to get into Metroid and probably get even better games after that. So I am happy with my decision to start with Samus Returns.